In this video, we are going to learn how to find the maximum number of words that appear in a single sentence. Hello, I'm Jagan from growwithdata. I'm posting this video to share my knowledge in Python language with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I'll be happy. I have created a playlist, Python interview questions 51 to 100, and I will be tagging this video to that playlist. Now let's see the sample input data and we can talk about the question in detail. So we are given an array of sentences. So we have three sentences here. Ram, Rahim, and Anthony love grow with data. I think so too. This is great. Thanks very much. So these are the three sentences. So what they're asking us to do is, for every sentence, first you find the number of words in every sentence and then see which sentence is having the maximum words to it. So if you see this, the first sentence, Ram, Rahim, and Anthony love grow with data, right? So this has 8 sentences, 8 words, 8 words. The second one, I think so too, got 4 words. And the third one, this is great, thank you very much, 3, 6, right? So out of this, the first one got 8, others are 4 and 6. So the output is going to be 8. So the output is going to be 8 words, right? Okay, so the assumptions here are there is no leading and lagging white spaces. So this is a proper clean data, right? And it got only the words, even if it comma or any special characters in it, you consider that as a word length. Okay, now how to translate this to a code? So basically we need to do 3 steps. The first one is, from the input array, how to read a sentence. The second one is, how will you find the number of words in a sentence? The third one is, if the number of words is greater than the previous sentence number of words, then use that current word count as the maximum number of words. So these are the 3 different steps we have to follow. So how to translate this to code? First one, from the input array, how will you read a sentence at a time? Okay, so get this input and then how will you read it? It's basically a for loop. For sentence in sentences, you can say print sentence. If you want to check if it's the next one is going to the loop. So if you see this, first it read the first sentence, Ram Rahim, and then next it goes to the loop, it reads the second sentence, I think so too, and the next, and then the third sentence. This is great. So this is how you read a normal sentence. In a loop, you just read one by one. That's the first one. The second one is, how will you find the number of words in each sentence? For example, you take this Ram, Rahim, and Anthony, and then you just say sentence equal to, this is what you get, right, as a string. So how will you find the length? The first one is, you can say sentence dot split. So this will split the whole sentence based on the space as a delimiter. So wherever there is a space, it just break that sentence at that point. Now I want to see how many words in this sentence. How will I do that? Basically, I can just say I need to have a count, right? So just have count equal to 0 and then go for a loop for word in this list of words as a split. We just say count equal to count plus 1. Now if you check the count, you get the number of words you have, right? So first one, you know how to read one sentence at a time. Once you get that sentence, you know how many words you have in that sentence. Okay, now we convert this to a program to get all this in place and find the sentence with maximum words. Okay, so here, before going there, we can just say for word in the split, right? If you just have a list comprehension, that means do it in a single line. you can just say length of word, right? So what will happen? It will count every word and see what is the length of the word. We don't want that. We just get first the sentence, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you get all the words as a list. If I want to see what is the number of words, instead of going to the loop, I can simply say length of the list. Okay. When I say split, okay, it just goes with list to list. So we don't do that. So this itself is giving a list. And then I can just say a length of the list. So if I do this as a list, it becomes a list of list, right? So that's what the first mistake. So if you see this, the whole list becomes one single element for the upper list. So we can better do directly with the sentence dot split. So we have 8 words to it. So we are going to use this in our program. Let's start with our first brute force method. This is the very basic. I don't recommend this approach in our interview point of it. But we got to understand how this works. Okay. So this is our input array. We start a function, grow with data, sentences. We just said a plural. Okay. Sentences. Sentences. Now I'm going to have a variable maximum length as 0. Now I'm reading every sentence from the input array. Oh, okay. Input array is going to be sentences, right? So this one. So I go with this 3 sentences. That's, yeah. So for sentence in sentences, I'm reading each sentence. And then I have another variable called count. For every sentence, it resets to 0. For word in the split part, right? The sentence dot split, it will give you an array. I am going to count equal to count plus 1. So this will get the whole count. Now if I check if the maximum length, the variable is less than the count, then you just say maximum length equal to the counting part. Now if you return the maximum length, it's supposed to give which sentence is having the maximum length. Max length is not defined. So we have spelling mistake here, L-E-N-G-T-H, right? Somewhere we missed this. Okay, now you got 8 as the answer, which is this. So what we are doing here, we take the whole sentence and we read every sentence at a time, and then we split that sentence to a list and we get every word and we count the number of words in the particular sentence. And we check if the maximum length variable is less than whatever the count we did for that particular sentence. If that is less than the count, then you change the maximum length to the current sentence's length and we return that maximum length. Simple as such, right? Now if you want to go with multiple test cases, then you use assert function and you can do it. Now you have 3 words in the sentence and 3 here, so you get 3 as the output. The first one you have 8. Great. Okay, now how to simplify this? We have 2 different for loops and a if condition. First we target the second for loop, this for loop and this. As I told you, you can simply get the list and then get the length for the number of words, right? So we can try that here. Okay, so how to simplify this? Let me take only this part. Okay, and we try to manipulate this. So we can get for go with this. So we have the sentence dot split, which the sentence is going to be the first sentence we can take, right? So we can say sentence equal to the, okay, quotes this. And when you say sentence dot split, it's going to have the list, right? So we can take off all this and say sentence dot split equal to. So it got an array, and I'm simply going to say length of this, which is going to be 8. So I take this code, bring it down here. So for loop and if condition, right? So I'm going to use this simplified version. I will say for all this, right? I get the length. Now I will see the count equal to the length. Now if I say if the maximum length is less than count, then maximum length equal to the count. I completely take away this for loop, right? I completely take away this for loop and simply took the length of the array. So this is going to give me the same result. So now I have a variable and I do this. Let's simplify this further. So I go here, I take this maximum length, directly put that in the if condition. So I ignore the variable. So I get the sentence, I find the length, and then I just do that. How will I further simplify this? Instead of doing the if condition and then do it, I say maximum length equal to max of the current maximum length, comma, the length of the current sentence. So what I did, I just read every sentence and then I say which one is maximum, the current maximum length or the sentence we just got now, that length. So whichever is maximum, assign to the maximum length. And you return the maximum length. Here's throwing an error. Spelling mistake. Maximum length. So I just skip this 3 lines and I use a max function and I simplified this. So further we can simplify this, right? So how can I do that? I think this one, okay. So you need assignment anyways, because we're comparing here, we need this assignment variable. Okay. Now, basically, if you have a for loop and a if condition part, right, we can simply go with the list comprehension, which is a single line of code. Now, let me take this for loop and then this, right? Let me go to the next part. I'll take this and I'll say maximum length equal to, go for the list, go for every sentence, get this, and then you find the length of that sentence. Now what will happen? It will give me the length of every sentence. Let's get this out. Let's take this. Let me call the function and see what will the maximum length return. So if you see this, for every sentence, I take the sentence, split that and find the length. That gives me how many words I have. 8, 4, and 6. Now if I take the maximum here, out of these 3 numbers, which are the length of every sentence, if I take maximum out of it, it actually gives me the length. So I don't have to go for all this process at all. I can directly get this. As I always say, instead of putting it in a variable and then returning this, you can directly take this manipulation part and put it here. Now I got the code in a single line. So we start with a 2 for loop and a if condition, which got simplified to 1 for loop and 1 single line. And that's an interesting part. What we are doing here, we get the split and then get the length, right? So we just go here, sentence equal to, oh, we don't want it. Okay. So sentence equal to, we got the sentence. Now, what we are doing here, we get the sentence and we are splitting it to a list. And then we are finding the length, right? So that is one way. Now, if you see how many space we have here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I have 7 space, that means there are 8 words, right? If you see this, we have 4 words. That means we have 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3. We have 3 spaces. So if I just do sentence dot count of a space, right, it'll give me 7. So if I add 1 to it, that will give me the number of words in that sentence. If I have this as a word, right? Now, if I say sentence equal to, I think so too. So this is a 4-word sentence. So if I have space, it will have 3 spaces. So 1, 2, and 3. So if I find the count of space, it's 3. So if I add 1, that will give me the number of words, which is 4. Since we don't have a leading and trailing space, it's always going to be the number of space plus 1 is going to be the number of words. It's so simple. So how will I use this in our function? So instead of doing length of sentence dot split, I simply say sentence dot count of space comma space, okay, and plus 1. So this will give me the number of words and then I get the max out of it. So this will be the much simpler way of doing one manipulation. Just count. I don't have to split and then find the length, right? This is two calculations, but here is only one calculation. And I can try with multiple input values. So this is going to work. Now see how simplified it is. We just do a looping part and then we just get the space, how many spaces we have, and find the number of words and get the maximum out of it. Just a single line with 2 or 3 operations. And you can see the first where we started with, right? So from this version, we went all the way to a single line of version. So if you want to see all this code, then you can go to the YouTube channel, Grow with Data. And this playlist is going to be Python interview questions 51 to 100. This is Tamil version. This is the English version, Python interview questions 51 to 100. So if you go into this playlist, and in the description part, you have the GitHub link, which will take you to the code base. And this one is our 73rd video, which is here, sentence with maximum words. And you have the first version, which is a brute force method. And then we have the simplified for loop. And then we even simplified further with the maximum function. And we did a list comprehension with the split format. And finally, we use the count. So we have all the 5 approaches here. If you want to join the WhatsApp channel, then you have the link here. You can use this and join Growth Data WhatsApp channel. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.